Good evening, everybody. It's a little later than I usually do a video, but I just do whenever. I guess I like to do it every day, but it's just not possible all the time. It's January 29th, 2025, and I'm gonna review a comic book, Animal Man by Grant Morrison and Jazz Trog. But first, I'm going to show you some comics I got today. It's comic book day, so I got Wolverine Revenge, issue 4. Now I wait till I get the whole story, unless it's something that I'm just curious about, or just rarely happens where it's something I just gotta read. I can wait now. I remember when I was like a child, just couldn't wait, like month after month. It's easier now. But this is written by, oh my glasses. Who's it written by? Oh my god. Jonathan Hickman, with art by Greg Capullo. Greg's art is just great. It's just perfect, like modern comic book art. It's worth it just for that. And then I got the second issue of Metamorpho. I haven't read it yet. I read that first issue, and that one was just so much fun. It's just a good fun time. And then let's see, it's just kind of sad going to the comic book store because there's so many comics. They look boring though. Most of them aren't even superheroes, and the ones that are just, it's just Batman, Harley Quinn, just. But I wanted to get something. I was, start the first issue, so I got this Pinapocalypse, issue 1, and it's pretty good, and the art is really good. This guy, it's written and drawn by Andrew Tarusov, and it's about this girl Foxy. I guess it's like in the 50s. It's like the perfect American, life. And then there's a zombie outbreak. And I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. She's so pretty. Her character is just nice. That's a really cool, like, double page. It was fun. There's like I wish I could have gotten, like, there's an Evil Dead cover. And then the last comic I got today is Space Usagi, the final issue 3, the third issue, White Star Rising. And this one is just fantastic. I mean, if I were to tell you to get one comic book, it would be this one. And I think it's a reprint from the 80s, maybe. Actually, from, like, I think 93. And they're already gonna come out with another story. 10,000 Plums. I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic. I don't think I've ever read a Usagi Ojimbo. I almost forgot. Now I'm getting you. Now I'm starting like Space Usagi just as much. But I don't think I've ever read a Usagi comic that wasn't, like, really good to great. Speaking of great, Animal Man. And I guess I should dedicate this to my friend Luciano, because he's a big comic book fan, and we bonded over that for years now. I think we've known each other for like 18 and like 16, 17 years. And he let me borrow, he had the individual issues of this. And I remember reading it, and I liked it. But with this second reading, I don't know what happens, what clicks in my brain or your brain, like with movies or books or comics, and then I like them even more. That happened with this. I think the first time I read it, I don't know what it was. I can't pinpoint it. I knew what he was doing. So like he breaks uh, the comic book wall, like how Deadpool, knows he's in a comic book. That's the whole thing with this. Animal Man is shown that he's in a comic book, and I just thought that was at the time when I read it. And I don't know what it would be like when this came out. Like in Jesus, when did this come out? Late to mid '80s. Late to mid '80s, like mid to late '80s. Let's see if I can find it. Like originally published. Yeah, like '88. Yeah, and I must have seen them on the comic racks. I think back then maybe like the covers like kind of scared me, or it just like in '88 I would have been like 13. It's bizarre. Brian Bolland, man. Let's see. So I read it, and so yeah, like the whole thing of him discovering that he's in the comic book, that's a cool idea, but I always thought stuff like that, like stuff like what Alan Moore does, or Grant Morrison, or let's see, I can't think of any other writers like that. When they do something like that, I always thought that's kind of cheating, because everybody else, they just do a regular, action story or mystery or horror, because that's what that's what everybody expects. So when you do something, I guess, I don't know, maybe people have I'm sure people thought of other writers that, maybe he, let's see, maybe like can't think of his Nova will find out that he's in a comic book, and then they're like, oh, that's dumb, and then where will it go? It would have to end after that. It really couldn't go on. But reading it again, it was, I don't know, it was great. And then even like the 5th issue, of the Coyote Gospel, that's what it's called, that won some awards. And then when I read it, I was like, it's okay. Then reading it for the second time, it's a cover, I understand it a little better. And now I see like the brilliance, genius of his writing. And then even like when I don't like when they do this anymore. Like I used to love crossovers, but when a crossover happens to a comic book that's like going on its own wavelength, it just derails it. And that happens in here too, but Morrison is able to like at least make a good one-issue story about it. Still not, I guess they gave him a lot like free reign, because it doesn't really have to do with what's going on, but he carved something out of it. And then like Animal Man, yeah, like who cares about Animal Man? But just the thing with DC, like they have all these like characters, and you look at them and you like, they look so stupid. And then you read them, like if you're a comic fan and you read them, they're great. And I keep saying that, how come they can't make movies? I guess I should stop saying that. It doesn't matter. We already have the books that you can read whenever you want. It'd be great if they make a really good movie. Just a good movie. But I just can't. So yeah, Animal Man, like the first story, like he's after this like roach man, or not just a roach man, like it's a Bawana beast, it's like an old character. Like Grant Morrison takes these old characters and like makes them relevant again. Um, so it just kind of going along. He becomes a like an animal activist. Starts working with people that are trying to save like lab animals. I guess since he has animal powers, he should be like um, what's the word? Sympathetic to what's happening to animals. He fights like the dolphin poachers. It gets pretty hardcore. Like these hunters try to assault his wife, and like they take a shot at his daughter, and then it just keeps going. And then towards the end is when Animal Man finds out he's in a comic book, and I guess second time reading it, I don't know, it was able to sink deeper into me, and I really liked it. And then at the very end, the last issue in this collection, issue 26, I'll show you the cover. That's like Grant Morrison standing or stepping on Animal Man, and he just totally puts himself, well, there he is. He puts himself in the comic, and then he just explains to Animal Man, like, people just want to see, tragedy and violence and death and vigilantes, people want to see people like settle problems with their fists. He's all just like my real life, and Animal Man's like freaking out, and he's like, but this is my life, and then he just keeps telling them. I guess I just didn't get it first time. And he's like, yeah, I'm making you do this. I can make you do anything. And like Animal Man grabs him and throws him out a window, and then Grant Morrison says, see, I made you do that. I make you do whatever I want. And then he just goes on to tell him, like, you're gonna live longer than I am. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get old and die, and people forget about me. But you'll still be around, and they'll still read about you. And I was like, oh, it just is really good. And he starts telling Animal Man about his sick cat. And then he just, I really liked the part where Grant Morrison starts talking to you, and he just starts telling you, he just gives his thanks list like an album, like a music group. I always have a thanks list. He puts like his thanks list. I don't remember that. So I looked up Grant Morrison. I read his Wikipedia, and I never realized. I guess I kind of knew how much he's written, and said he's like this for a while, or maybe still, he's like the second most liked comic book writer in the world. But he is really good. Now I think about, like, he wrote the All-Star Superman, Batman and Robin, and I read those, and those are really, really good. He wrote We 3, which I loved. Just so much. And he went on to edit Heavy Metal magazine for a couple of years. And then reading this, like, just the way he talks and the way he looks, and music is so important to me. I was like, what kind of music does he like? And it said he was in a band called The Mixers, so I looked it up. They have like one song on YouTube, and it was okay. Like, it's from 1980, just kind of Beatles-esque. Like, it said mod pop punk a little bit. It was okay. It's weird, like, for what a great writer he is, and just out of the box. His music was pretty just ordinary, but it was good. But yeah, and also reading at this time, there's like a sad desperation to the whole thing. And Grant Morrison, like, he talks about, like, when he was little, he made up an imaginary friend that was a fox, and he would, like, get a flashlight and, like, signal to him at night. And he does that in here. And I was like, does he just want like his, since he made Animal Man like real, maybe he wanted his imaginary fox friend to be real, and he's just like, there, it ends, spoiler, it ends with him like flashing a light, at night on the hill. And he's like, "Are you there?" And I was like, it's just so sad. It really hit me this time. How sad. He's just like so desperate. Maybe he wanted his friend, his imaginary friend, to be real. So that was just really good writing. Not too many comics that I love, like Kraven's Last Hunt, Daredevil Born Again. Those are really good. They have a lot of action. They do have meaning, but they're like movies or books. The beginning, middle, and end. They're real tight, and this is just kind of all over the place. But it was good. The artist Chaz Trog, I'm pretty sure that's it. I know I didn't check. He drew another comic called Coyote, which I want to reread because I want to like it, but I don't think I do like it. And his art's good in that, but it's really good in here. At least for a comic book. And this was like 700 pages. I didn't think. Well, I guess 26 issues. Yeah. For some reason, maybe I was thinking it was just 12 in my head, because most collections seem to be like 12 issues, but this is 26. So it took me a while, but I really enjoyed it. I just really got wrapped up in it, and it's like a really good book, like a layman almost. And it's violent, it's bloody, but not. It all means something, I guess. And I requested The Invisibles in the library, and I didn't know he wrote so much like JLA and Superman, and he even wrote Green Lantern, and he wrote a lot of indie stuff too. And then he did that Happy series. Have you ever seen that? He's had his hand in so much stuff, and now I didn't realize he's like my mom's age. He's 64. He's probably like 65 now. So I was like, man, he's getting old, but he's a good weirdo. Wonder if he's ever met John Waters. And I like what he said in an interview. I don't know where I read it, but he said like for that Coyote Gospel, because the Animal Man was only supposed to be 4 issues, and then it just was so popular they continued, and he didn't know what to write next. So he just started writing, and then he's all, this is like just gibberish and drivel, and like this is just nonsense. And then he turned it in, and he said everybody liked it, and he's like, now I've made my whole career out of writing nonsense and gibberish and trash. And I was like, I really like that, how he's just, I can just write whatever, and it's like he's fooled everybody. I really like that. So, should you read Animal Man? No. Don't read it. It's my secret. And I don't want you to know about it. But I'm sure your local library has it. I wonder how much the individual issues. It also has Secret Origins. 1 issue of Secret Origins. That really wasn't too important. I think if it wasn't in here, I wouldn't even have noticed. Cool cover though. But yeah, Animal Man, and I read he's in a cosmic story that I like a lot, but he just gets beaten up in it. He really can't do anything, and they're always complaining how they gotta save him. He's always been like a minor character, and I don't think they're doing anything with him now. But just him, Booster Gold, Mr. Miracle, Blue Beetle, Blue Devil. There's just so many great characters, and Animal Man's one of them. Let's see, I'm listening to Conqueror, Come Down Cold. And this is all like, this is from the 90s. Danish. My back hurts. I don't see the year. 90s. But I guess that's it. Yeah, I really wanted to talk about it getting worse. Oh yeah, I'm going for like a. If you look up Conway Twitty, I'm going for like a Conway Twitty hairstyle now. But yeah, I really want to talk about Animal Man, and I don't know when I'll review more comics, but this is it. I'll give it a. Just give it a 5 out of 5.